For coming. Thank you to people that flew here, people that drove a long distance. If anybody unicycled here, thank you. Thank you all for coming and grieving, celebrating, honoring Gabe. I know he affected a lot of people in a real way, and I've been learning more and more about that since he passed. And I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, I've said this before, and I'm not saying this to discount the grieving process or to tell anybody what to believe, but I believe Gabe is still very much alive. I believe that Gabriel's just in a different form, and he's been making his presence known to me and to a lot of us. And I'm just inviting him in right now. And it's really nice to know that I haven't lost a brother. He's just in a different form. But there is still grieving, and there's still tears all the time of missing the physical version of him, and that's okay. And hopefully today will bring some healing for all of us, but it's okay if it doesn't. It's okay if it's still very hard for a long time for a lot of us. It's all okay. Just us being here together and connecting and just being with our memories and our feelings for Gabe is what this is all about. There's gonna be a lot of music today because music meant a lot to Gabe. Music was a huge part of his life, a huge part of how I think of him. Not only listening to music with him growing up and him showing me all the coolest bands and artists, but the music that he created. He sang. He had a beautiful voice. He was an opera singer, but he could also sing. He could sing in multiple languages. He could sing jazz. He could sing any genre. He wrote a lot of amazing songs that we brought today. We made CDs. We have about 50 CDs for anybody, but we also are gonna have, actually that's one thing I forgot to do is write down the link. We have all his music online in an album. And I really encourage anybody who wants to listen to his songs, because I think some of the songs, he's written some of the best songs I've ever heard. In the past few years especially, he started writing a lot of songs. Some of the songs will have his pain, and that might bring some understanding about what he was going through. But not all of them. A lot of them, they're about all kinds of things, and they're beautiful, they're poetic, the melodies are beautiful. You hear some of the beachy, sublime influence in them. He loved the beach, that's why I'm wearing this shirt. And I was lucky enough to make music with him on many occasions. We had a project called Gabriel and Raphael. My mom and dad were thinking about naming me Raphael, and we realized that Gabriel and Raphael are the names of archangels. We thought that'd be a cool name for a group. And it was a Eurodance, electronic music, where he would sing, we would both sing, mostly him, and we rekindled that project last year and really talked about touring and got really excited about it. We made some really good recordings that I'll play for you today, and they're on the album as well. But I'm just really glad I captured his voice, his operatic voice, and just his regular singing voice. His voice sounds beautiful, and I'm really glad I have the recordings. I have the I can just isolate the vocals if I want to on my computer and just listen to his voice just singing, and it's really, really a gift for me and for anybody to have so many recordings of his music and have him live on in that way, because he is an amazing artist, musician, singer. He also drew amazing art. He was very young when he did some amazing pastel drawings that we brought today as well as stickers that Ashley made for people if people want to take a print of the sticker. They're some of the coolest drawings ever. He was like super young when he did those. You can see some Picasso influence in them, but it just shows how creative he was at a really young age. Just had a vivid imagination. And anyway, I guess I'm just kind of riffing. I was gonna say some things. I guess I'll just keep riffing. He was my best friend. We were different in some ways, but we were really similar in a lot of ways. Sometimes it felt like we were twins. Sometimes people would hear us talking in the other room and they wouldn't know who's talking because our voices just sounded so similar, and we'd both get so excited together. And a lot of times I'd call him up, or he'd call me up, and we'd share what was going on with our life, and the other person would say, "That's exactly what's going on with me right now." Like, we'd go through the same like life events or same phases in life of what we're getting into at the same time. And he was also the best older brother I could have asked for. He was bullied at a young age, very young age, and he dealt with bullying a lot in his youth, but he never took that out on me. And a lot of older brothers do that. He was a really gentle older brother to me, and he protected me, and he constantly showered me with praise and just loved me so much. Like, he saved my life when I was a little kid. I think I ate a bottle of pills, and he was the one to be like, "Mom, Victor ate." And I could have OD'd or whatever. I was like a little infant. But that's just an example, that's just like a symbol of like how he was with me. He was always protecting me, showering me with love, and also like helping raise me, just like introduced me to so much. And he taught me about, so much about music. Going into his room, he had painted his walls in his room this vivid blue, this electric blue, and spray painted in gold these mischievous kind of stick figures. It was this really cool room to walk into, and he had all his art hung up too. And going into his room, and then you see his stereo with a 5-disc CD player, and this big, bass. He always, taught me about, you gotta have good bass. And just going through his CD collection, you'd see Sublime, you'd see Del the Funky Homo Sapien, you'd see Atmosphere. I mean, he loved all kinds of music. He really loved like beachy music. He kind of dressed like a surfer when he was a teenager. He really loved Sublime. And there's a song that we've talked about, Amber by 311. He sang that a lot when I was younger. Amber is the color of your energy. Whoa, shades of golden blend naturally. And it's just funny because I've always felt like his energy is amber. It's a golden, he just has this aura that reminds you of like sunlight. And anyway, that song's been popping up, that band 311. I've been seeing those numbers, 311 everywhere. We were driving in Colorado 40 minutes to get to this. Well, first our flight got delayed. I saw this in the WhatsApp group. Our flight got delayed to 311. And then in Colorado, we were driving to this bar 40 minutes out, and the arrival time was 311. And when we got there, they played that song on the radio. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't hear that song on the radio. That's a 90s song that's like, they don't play that. I've never heard that on the radio in a long time, like since it came out. And little things like that are just, to me, those are just signs, But Gabriel, there's so much I could talk about. I don't want to take up all the time, but I just want to talk about, there's like these two kind of aspects of Gabriel. There's this, like in the past 5 or 6 years, Gabriel started doing massage and became an energy healer. He would do cranial sacral He was a craniosacral massage therapist as well as other kinds of massage. And from what I gather, I don't really understand it, but what I gather about craniosacral is it's a very specific kind of massage that involves energy work. It involves a lot of knowledge about human anatomy, and it's difficult. But he had a specific method of doing it that was unique to everybody else's. And the way he would describe it, it would be like he would go into a meditative state with someone and almost travel through space with them, almost heal them on an energetic astral level. He called his business Astral Bodyworks. And it was just really amazing hearing about it. And I encourage anybody who wants to just see testimonials to just look at his Google reviews. It's amazing to read about. If you just search Astral Bodyworks and read the Google reviews, he changed so many people's lives. He healed so many people who had chronic pain, chronic migraines. Someone had a lazy eye and got some, their vision straightened out a little bit for the first time. Things like that. Like, there's someone, I don't know if they're here, and I don't know if they want to share this story about their son. But a woman came to Gabe that really loved Gabriel, and she had lost her son. And she was in a session with Gabe, and he sensed the spirit of her son come into the room. And he invited him in. He said, "Come on in, it's okay, you can come." And he felt the spirit come up to the mother while he was working on her. And he didn't say anything to her about this. But when she came out of that session, she said, "That was the first time I felt my son since he passed." She felt him right up close to her. So things like that, it was like beyond just physical healing, which he would in a lot of ways perform miracles with what he did. But it was just beyond that. It was a really amazing thing to learn about. And so as he was doing that, he was also going through a depression, which he had been dealing with on and off for, I think about 12 years. I mean, his whole life he dealt with bullying and anxiety. But I think during this time he became more introverted, a little more withdrawn. But it was also important for him to not really just go out drinking, and it was important for him for his work to be like learning how to really listen, because that's what he would do when he was with a client. He would really talk to them first and listen and connect with them and give them space. And that was really important for what he did. And he did it really, really amazingly. He also wrote amazing songs during this time. He wrote songs with Ashley, who's here. They created a little band, a group with harmoniums. Him and Aaron and Ashley, they would perform at song circles. He made these spiritual songs, these beautiful songs that people could sing along to. And he wrote a lot of songs in this time, especially in the past couple of years, that are beautiful, again, that are on that album. So as he was like dealing with depression and kind of going within, he was also growing immensely as a spirit, spiritually, emotionally. He was really working on himself all the time, doing all kinds of spiritual workshops, shamanic journeying, but constantly doing everything he could to heal his depression, but also to be better at what he did, to be able to show up for people in the world. And he really did. And I'm so proud of him. I just wanted to talk about, not everybody knows that before this time, he was really loud and like hilarious. And he was still funny all the time in the past few years. But like before the depression started to really, take hold more, he was like such a big energy that was just so, his middle name was Forte, which is a musical term for loud. It was so fitting because he's an opera singer. And he would just bust out an opera at night outside my mom's house and just wake up some neighbors, just la 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 la, I can't do it. But he was really loud and really big, and sometimes to a fault. Sometimes he was too loud, sometimes he'd interrupt people, sometimes he'd be too vulgar. But it's like, he was hilarious, and like, he was the funniest person I know, and he would just make me pee my pants laughing all the time, and everybody else, and he'd lift people up. And he would just be goofy and go out dancing in silly costumes, and I just want to talk about that because it wasn't as prevalent in the past few years, even though I think that was necessary too for him to do what he did and be an amazing healer for people and for that part of his journey. But I also just want to talk about that part of Gabriel that was just really bombastic and buoyant and larger than life and hilarious. But yeah, it would almost seem like he was, as he was going through his anxiety and depression towards the end there, in the past few years, it would almost seem like he was really sensitive and like maybe even like weak, but it's actually the total opposite. He was really strong for going through the pain and darkness that he went through and still showing up for people and still always showering me with love and affection and all his friends and just being so kind and compassionate and such an amazing healer. That takes a really strong person to go through that and still show up for people. And to me, he's a hero. He's a hero of mine. And he always will be. And I am the luckiest man in the world to have Gabriel as my brother. He really is my best friend and an amazing person. I had other things I was going to say, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. I want to open up for other people to speak. I've been going for a long time. We will play music as well. We'll have a couple people coming up here and playing, and we're going to play some of his songs as well. Thank you all for being here.
Okay, so
hi everyone. This is going to be hard, so please excuse me if I just break down a few times during this. Gabriel, he was a beautiful light in my life, and I think every life that he touched. He was a celestial child with a deep sensitivity and empathy for anyone who was excluded or hurting, even when he was. He was kind and lifted up his heart to all he met. He was also playful and very funny and fun to be around. Really fun to be around. After music conservatory, he tried to further pursue opera and moved to New York City. He fell into a deep depression and had to return here to Portland. For a while after that, he tried to switch his focus and finally had an awakening to his true soul destiny to be a healer. He really wanted his own practice and started his astral body work business. He had success and felt fulfilled and had many devoted clients who often became friends. Often. He connected on a deep level to heal people of their bodily pain and restrictions, and his community became wider and wider. Over the years, Gabriel tried many things. He never gave up. He was so courageous. He tried therapy, Vipassana retreats, medications, ketamine infusions, breath work, meditation, psilocybin, and had some temporary relief from his symptoms. He was weighed down by various diagnoses, which made him feel flawed and hopeless. He has had anxiety about losing his memory and being disabled. He had endless love for his family and friends. He loved being in nature and literally taking time to smell the flowers and hug the trees. He loved surfing and being near the ocean. He loved playing music and writing songs with Victor. He loved reading and poetry of Rumi. He loved his song circle and the community he felt there. He loved to dance with Victor, Ashley, and Renee. Ashley, Victor's significant other. He loved her. He loved yoga, running on forest trails, his rock climbing gym, hiking to mountaintops like Angel's Rest. He loved a good soak at the Everett House, painting, and cats and dogs. He loved delicious food and a cup of kava. He loved and couldn't help himself. He had to sing wherever he could. He had a special spiritual bond with my mother, Laura. His life was not devoid of happiness, but ultimately he must have felt tired of the struggle. In his journals, he wrote goodbye notes. I believe he felt his only way out of this pain was to set his spirit free. Before he left us, he spent meaningful time with his father, Victor, Renee, Ashley, Mark, and close friends. Each song he wrote in his last year on earth expressed his desire to be part of this healing spiritual love. Thank you all to his beloved community. He loved and cherished you all so much. He would talk about his friends all the time and bring them over frequently so I could meet them. So I'd like to invite those who would like to share thoughts or memories. And Victor will be playing his songs between speakers, and there'll be some of you performing music. And for those of you that would like to sing with him, please do, because he's listening. Thank you.
Before we continue, we're just going to play one of his songs. This is a song he wrote a couple years ago after an ayahuasca retreat. And this song became really popular at future retreats. People had these lyrics memorized in Peru. It's a beautiful song. I'm excited to share it with you. The lyrics of Lifting Up My Heart are on the sheet of paper. If anybody wishes to sing along or just read along, they're welcome to sing.
Was lifting up my heart when I'm feeling good, holding it together like a raft to see the wood, casting out this net made of pure affection. Let the waving wind send it wide in all directions. And I know that I am worthy, one and all, let it be known. Everybody come together, far and wide and high or low. Father Sky, you give us sight, a window to infinity. Mama Earth, you hold us close, grounded, loving energy. Make me an instrument of peace in loving frequency. Conscious dedication rises like the mountains from the sea. And I know that I belong gratitude I sing for you. Each breath a gift received in full, and I know that I am worthy. One and all, let it be known. Everybody come together, far and wide and high, or low. I know that I belong here. In your love, I know I'm home. In gratitude, I sing for you. Each breath a gift received in full, and I know that I am worthy. One and all, let it be known. Everybody come together, far and wide and high.
Hi everyone. My name's Renee. I'm one of Gabriel's sisters. Ow. I was doomed to do that. I'm not actually going to be talking, but I just want to thank all of you for being here and for being a part of this and for all the ways that you've known and loved and, for my brother and for each other, and thank you for being. And that's enough.
Hi. For those that don't know me, I am Mark, Renee's husband. I'll be speaking on behalf of the two of us. So, meeting Gabriel dramatically altered the course of my life. He was a stranger at my home, attending a party where we were collectively bemoaning the soon-to-be president Donald Trump in 2016. Within minutes of meeting me, as I'm telling him of my active divorce, he insists I meet his sister, and then whips out his phone and calls her right there on speakerphone in the middle of the party. My life has not been the same since. He brought me love, real, messy, wild love. It is such a spectacular gift, the kind I will never be able to repay. So I struggled to find the words to honor that kind of generous and open spirit. The best I can do is speak on Gabriel as a full human, in all of the glitter and gore. A man attuned to goodness, tender and kind, but also at times selfish and prone to overtaking a given space. I always thought of him as a divine diva, in all of the best and worst ways. And I loved him for that. I loved his curiosity and willingness to ask questions, while also banging my head against the wall because an hour later he had already forgotten everything we had just talked about. I loved that he tried so hard to be in the moment, sometimes at the cost of things like being on time or executing a plan. But sometimes it was the most pertinent and spectacular reminder of the immense beauty this complicated world has. And we need that pretty often because this world is hard. And sometimes, like this very moment, the stuff of nightmares. Gabriel was a dreamer, a mellifluous voice that would color your world with its flights of fancy and delightful melodies. Sometimes I could see him as a curious child bouncing brightly from each new sensation to the next. I admire how he kept that quality, even as he stepped fully into the beautiful, tender man he was. No matter the conflict or challenge, Gabriel maintained a willingness and openness to learn, to try something from a slightly different vantage point, treating the world in a way like a kaleidoscope, where just a simple turn of a wrist will gift us a series of new delights. Maybe then, the best we can offer in our grief, our hurt, our pain, is just that notion that with a simple tweak of perspective, we can once again touch our wonder and joy and delight. Just as hard as it may be to pick up, hold on, keep on, there is still something to perk our ears, brighten our eyes, and make us smile with just a touch of the exuberance that Gabriel smiled with. Thank you for listening.
Just very quickly, there is an ongoing slideshow upstairs in case anyone hasn't introductory yet for after the service. So my mom told me I should mention that, so I mentioned it.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Renee. Shelby, if you'd like. Shelby was a very dear friend to Gabriel and myself, and she's here today to sing a song, and yeah.
Hello. I wrote it down because I knew I could find it. Okay. My name is Shelby Silver, and Gabriel was my first friend in Portland. We met while singing together in the Unity Choir, and I'd known Gabriel's spirit for nearly 15 years. While we shared countless memories together, the ones that rise to the surface for me most these days are those in which his brotherly love protected and comforted me during some of life's difficult moments. From removing a dangerous person from my home, to keeping me company through heartache with old movies, laughter, and popcorn, to singing me hallelujah over the phone when I would get lonely at my new home and new life far away from all I knew here in Portland. And while these were all separate instances across many years of our friendship, there is a single thread of continuity that ties them all together, and that is Gabriel's compassionate heart. And this is what I keep reminding myself of when another wave of grief washes over me, that he's really no longer physically with us. This, and that our friendship was only comparable to a favorite song, a musical storyline undefinable by our last conversation, heart talk, or text message, and undefinable by the way he chose to depart this place. Because the bulk of our memories reside in my heart, a place that holds Gabriel's brilliant love light as larger than life and truly, truly undefinable. I'm going to sing a song that I'd written earlier this year that feels like Gabriel. It's titled "When I'm Not With You." I am water, I am wine, I am darkness, I am sunshine, I am the pebbles on the ground, I'm your laughter when no one is around. When I'm not with you, I need you to know I am still a part of your soul. And time moves on, and change follows along. Some things will last, some things remain steadfast. 'Cause I am the river running free, timeless channel rushing to the sea. I am the forest, I am the trees, I'm leaf litter, I'm the canopy. When I'm not with you, I need you to know I am still a part of your soul. And time moves on, and change follows along. Some things will last, some things remain steadfast. 'Cause I am the ocean, salty and sweet, I'm the soil beneath your feet. I am the fire burning bright, I'm the hope you hold for your life. 'Cause when I'm not with you, I need you to know I am still a part of your soul. And time moves on, then change follows along. Some things will last, some things remain steadfast. 'Cause I am the water, I am the wine, I'm the darkness, I'm the sunshine, I am the pebbles on the ground, I'm your laughter when no one is around. Gabriel.
Thank you, Shelby. It's beautiful. Dad, step on up. I'm Gabriel's father, if you don't know. I may say some of the things that were even said. Thanks for the beautiful words from me and Mark, and Lorraine and Victor. Sometimes
You need to hear it from your father. Even if you already knew, what do you think you know? But I'll try to cut it shorter because a lot was already said. But I am Gabriel's father, and I stand here a little fearful for that responsibility of being father. I'm here to say quite simply, I love Gabriel. I love Renee. I love Victor. I love Natalie. My intention today, as difficult as this is for me, is to speak, to allow a space for healing. I look out among you all, and I see the love my son has for me, and he has for us all. And I have nothing but gratitude for Gabriel. Perhaps many of you come today with the same secret, difficult question which I have struggled with for many days. When I ask myself this question, I feel stranded, marooned on an island of longing. For one who had so much love for us, and we so much love for him. How could Gabriel leave us? I expressed this anguish to a newfound young friend, and my new friend offered me a different way, offered me an opening when she asked me a different question. What if here and now, in this existence, Gabriel's life is, in its own way, just plain perfect? My first reaction to this was, how could this belief that Gabriel's life is perfect be true? How could it be when his life ended as it did, drowned and me above, caught flailing about the surface when I tried to reach him? And then I'm back exhausted, washed up on that desert island of longing. I want to share with you Gabriel's answer, at least what I understand his answer to be. Look into your own open heart for that answer, because that's where the truth lies. The reason the heart is the rose blossom buried deep in a thorn bush. We can appreciate its fragrance and beauty, but we are not allowed to pick the blossom for ourselves without bleeding. Loving kindness really is the only reality, and forgiveness its blossom. On the morning of Gabriel's death, Gabriel closed a blank notebook after he wrote in it a single sentence. Gabriel closed a blank notebook after he wrote in it a single sentence. He left the notebook on the kitchen table for me to find, for me to bring to you all. Gabriel wrote, "Please take care of my plants and take care of each other." I hear in this a request for us to find atonement, not just for Gabriel, not for me either, but for yourselves and for all humans, all animals, all plants, and the tree that he loves. Forgive yourself that you have felt abandoned. Forgive yourself that you were disappointed by the choice that Gabriel made. I'm going to skip this and I'll just say I am here to tell you that Gabriel is the most courageous person I ever met. And I think that was spoken to. I'm not going to repeat that, except I need to hear my voice say that. Gabriel gave his whole body. He performed body work right up to the very last hour before he took his life. Gabriel was keen to perfect the imperfect perception of a perfect self. There's a song which he envisions himself as a naked, dancing gypsy healer. I saw him nearly reaching this deeper self. He was so close. I believed that he could do it and would still be able to remain in this world with me and with you all. That's partly my mistake there. And I won't talk about his shadow side too much. I want you to hear Gabriel's own words. He wrote beautifully. During those last nights when I started walking in this dark journey into grief, I listened to his lyrics and read his journal entries, and they opened an abyss in my chest that my tears would never fill. And my intention for saying this is that you also be released, that you also give yourself permission to heal. May the atonement fill this chasm in me and in Gabriel and in all the world. This healing is beyond my power. And is beyond my words. My words only open the door. My words only open the door, offering for you and I the choice to pass through. Gabriel wrote many words for himself and for us that would permit healing. These are some of the journal entries from his last days. He wrote, "Sloshing through my mind, painful indecision and doubt about my goodness." Shut up, Gabriel. Oh, sorry. Sloshing through my mind, painful indecision and doubt about my goodness. Am I sexist? Am I racist? Am I ignorant? Only the small self answers such basic questions. The deep self knows better. I am creative energy in motion. The truth embraces all and knows when to say fuck you to that illusory self. Gabriel also wrote, I have watched myself pick up the pieces fragment by fragment and find ways to begin the mending process. Like wabi-sabi, I will seek to create a beautiful new wholeness that is worthy of admiring and remembering. I am more than a wounded healer. There is also joy in my heart. He wrote, any pain will pass, but before the pain resolves, may it purge from me the fires of the ego that separate me from fully loving myself and others. May I be loving, kind, generous, and wise. I am Gabriel's father, and now I release myself from being Gabriel's father. I rejoin you all, among you all, Gabriel's friends. From now on, I too will be Gabriel's friend.
I'd like to play another one of Gabriel's songs before we go on to the next speaker.
When I feel the wind blowing from behind, I spread my arms and send the thoughts from my mind. You show me how to bend to the flow of life, watching heaven descend. It's the peace you feel inside, keeping you safe in the arms of a love transcending space and time. Your soul was made to shine. Na, 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 na. And you don't need to change a thing. We're all growing anyways. Just remember, you've always been the light. You can see it dancing on our faces. Just a couple of young stars learning where our place is in this perfect universe.
He wrote that one pretty recently. I remember telling him, that was one of your best, man. Might be your best one yet. I'd like to have Patty come up and take the floor.
Hi, everybody. Gabriel was the love of my life. Our relationship was ecstatic, messy, beautiful, hard as fuck. And yet it was so easy to love him. It was so easy to love him. I'm not going to be able to riff like Victor, so I wrote some things down. What I've learned about death is that the little things in life become the big things. There are small intimacies of my relationship with Gabriel that are not that exciting, but that mean everything to me. I'll share a few with you. Gabriel and I had a deal that whoever got up last made the bed. It was always him. He would arrange the 4 bed pillows in different configurations every morning, never twice repeating. Sometimes the pillow arrangements were wildly out there, and just a moment of pure delight. Mornings were often hard for him. He loved the ritual of lighting all the candles in the day, and one of us would make breakfast while he would make a special concoction of chai and chocolate. It was his daily ritual of affection. No words were needed. We took Zouk dance classes, and that was nice, but really the time both of us loved best were when we were home and dancing our own special dance together, traveling through space and time. We would sing together 2 very simple songs, They were everything. When I first met Gabriel, he really wanted me to meet his best friend, who also happened to be his grandma. That might have seemed like the first red flag. But if you had the privilege to meet Grandma Laura, you would understand not only how special she was, but the special bond the two of them had. Gabriel was incredibly generous to share his grandma time with me. It was special to be seen by her, and she recognized that we met on a soul level. The three of us would meditate together and talk about her fear of dying, spirituality, life after death, and what it meant to be a good person. Gabriel would massage her feet as if there was nowhere in the world he'd rather be. This time was precious, and each of us understood how sacred it was. On our way to Mark and Renee's wedding, Gabriel and I drove by the house to say hi to Grandma, who was not at that point well enough to come to the wedding. Gabriel and I were on our knees at her recliner, and we all held hands tightly and leaned our heads in to touch as Grandma prayed out loud. Later that summer, I held Grandma's hand during her final moments. Gabriel was on the other side of the wall, in the family's garden, meditating. As she took her last breath on this earthly plane, Gabriel saw her spirit in the garden, dancing and smiling, and came into the house knowing she had passed. Gabriel and I got married too. Surprise! Well, we hand fasted, which is the pagan ceremony where you're married for a year and a day as a sort of trial. We tied our wrists together and spoke beautiful vows to each other. We broke up in April of 2023 and continued to talk until February 2024. I never stopped loving him. We often spoke about a parallel universe where we were living and loving each other without the complexities of this life. We both had visions about this realm and would share them with the other. There was no therapy, no baggage, and the only currency was ecstatic trust, love, and cosmic bliss. When Gabriel and I met, it was as if we had been reunited after lifetimes of not seeing each other. We had a lot of catching up to do. I realized it at the time, but I've only really felt the weight of responsibility now after his passing. He shared things with me he did not easily share with others. Waking up next to him, living with him, I got to see a side of him that he didn't like to show. I feel privileged to have gotten to know a soul as deeply as I got to know Gabriel. I feel privileged to have had access to work on his body when he was in physical or emotional pain. I feel privileged to have been in it with him, to have loved him fiercely and fully. I have absolutely no regrets about that. My dear, darling Gabriel, I miss you, I love you, I honor you. My time spent with you is something I wouldn't replace for the sun, moon, and some stars. There's just one other little tiny thing that I just added, which is just little things that Gabriel taught me. Do I have time? Yeah. Just a little. Forgive quickly, kiss slowly. That a day starting with chocolate in your drink makes everything better. That the parts in others you don't like are just the parts of yourself you haven't accepted yet. Eat the rainbow. Eat all the colors, and you will live a healthy life. We used to mountain bike together, and he would say, don't look at the tree roots as you go down the mountain. Look at the path ahead. Question everything you hold as true. It may not be as true as you thought. The littlest human can give the strongest massage, You just have to use leverage. Love is everything. You can do the very things you thought you could never do. You can experience your worst fear and still be okay. The world can't afford for you to play it small. Even if your voice breaks, even if you're anxious, say the thing. Be a part of creating the new paradigm we so badly need in the world. Be gentle with yourself and then gentler still. We are not productivity machines. We are human beings. I ask you in honor of Gabriel, what would it take you to love yourself a little bit more? Accept yourself a little bit more. Take that leap, follow that dream, love everyone you meet a little bit more deeply. What would it look like to bring your shame into the light? To accept the deep flaws of another and love them anyways? What might it feel like to remember we're all connected? Thank you all for loving him. If you gave him a moment of laughter or joy or silliness, just know that you extended his time here on earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. I'd like to play another song. This is one that Gabriel and I made. It's one that I wrote, but I could never sing. And Gabriel loved the lyrics. I think it was probably his favorite song that I had written, but it was meant for him. And we made this version of it that's in the style of Eurodance, but he sings beautifully on it. And I think it's a great example of his voice.
So much time passed, the old days gone. Now you give back, now you look on. You've been reflecting, seeing yourself clear. Walk through the mirror, be yourself. Here's I'm out your mind, the violet light comes out your eyes. If you believe you can fly, you can fly. Won't you? I'm out your mind, the violet light comes out your eyes. If you believe you can fly, you can fly. All your tears dry, all your wounds close. Now you see why, now you have hope. The light you hold glows, you don't have to speak. Your power now shows. Do you believe? Time out your mind, the violet light comes out your eyes. If you believe you can fly, you can fly. Won't you climb out your mind? The violet light comes out your eyes. If you believe you can fly, you can fly.
Ashley, if you'd like, the floor is yours. They got tissues? There was a box.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Whoa, sorry, I just came up here to blow my nose. Okay. I've done a lot of crying, as I'm sure a lot of us have, since August 16th. And the hardest that I cry is thinking about feeling for Renee and Victor and knowing how lucky you three were to be siblings together and are to continue to be siblings together. The way that Gabriel talked about his brother and sister was with so much love. Thank you. This is going to be so much easier if you're next to each other. I wonder if you said the other sister, because I feel like I'm one of Gabriel's sisters a bit, and another sister right there. But I say that because Gabriel called me his star sibling. We were actually born on the exact same day, so I'm just a few hours older than him. And friendship with Gabriel is one of the things in my life that I am most grateful for and I will always hold with me. He's a life-changing friend. And I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but I knew Gabriel would be here with me and just kind of inform. So just to share a little bit about our friendship, I met him so I woke up with a really bad neck situation in 2021 and was lucky enough to find Gabriel as a body worker. And I wonder who here had Gabriel do body work on them. Oh my gosh, look at that. So many of us. Do you remember those amazing like hand clap things at the end? Like, whoa. There's sending me out the door with this like rainstorm on my back the first time that I met him. It was the first time I'd ever gone back to a body worker before. He was so good, as you all know. Talking about Gabriel has been just one of my favorite things since I met him in 2021. And he didn't know yet, but we were already best friends. I could just feel his energy in the room, and I could just feel like this feels like home. This is somebody that I feel like I've known before. And it turns out we like to do a lot of the same things: yoga, rock climbing, cycling. And so we started rock climbing together after a couple of years of being a bodywork client. I got to be his friend, which I feel if I had only met him in the capacity of bodywork, I would have been so lucky. But to be able to be his friend was, like I said, one of the biggest gifts of my life.
I think one of the things that I most appreciate about Gabriel, and this is how I feel like I knew him so well even before we became friends, is that I could feel his ability for presence. And I know Gabriel to be a really exuberant, funny person, just loud, but he could also be so still and present, and an amazing listener. I think he listened with his fingers in bodywork sessions, and he's listened with his soul when he was with a person. How many of us have had craniosacral sessions with Gabriel? Yeah. Oh my gosh. So the magic that continues from that, I don't know if others feel this, but I feel like I can lay down and kind of ask for that, and I can feel Gabriel. The first time I had craniosacral with Gabriel, I was a little skeptical, and he said, so, he's guiding me through the breaths, and he says, so now I'm going to enter into non-dual awareness with you. And I was like, okay. And then he did. The feeling of being that deeply listened to on a soul level changed my life. I had something shift in me, this feeling I'd been holding for so long right here that I always called anxiety. And then just being deeply, deeply held in the presence of a person like Gabriel, who I felt so safe with, I started to understand it as grief, and just was able to move through it and move that energy, and carrying a feeling for my whole life, and then finally being able to as Gabriel, he loved to say, transmute it, that has been this, I feel like I kind of stepped into myself. And it's really cool that as I stepped into myself, Gabriel was kind of stepping into himself in his own way. He had a beautiful, powerful psilocybin experience. Mushrooms are also, I feel like I'm in the family of the mushroom. And so we connected about, what he found there. And he's always been a deeply, profoundly spiritual person, and I can feel that, and I know that's what he felt with his grandma, being able to understand life in that way. And I feel like I think that's why I felt like I already knew him, is that I feel like I don't know how to put it, but there's that some kind of shared sense of spiritual home. It's hard to know. I feel like I could go on, and I'm going to continue going on for my lifetime. I think I told Lorraine and Robert, watch out, I'm probably going to start a cult based on Gabriel, so let me know if you want to join it. He just, I think that ability to listen and to be present is basically, I think is love. And so I think in that sense, Gabriel is the most loving person that I've ever known. And all these people here, and I know there are so many more that aren't here, got to love Gabriel and be loved by Gabriel. And I feel like we are so, so lucky. I brought, this is a piece of Gabriel's writing that I just wanted to share, and I've shared it a couple times at other kind of gatherings, but it just really I feel Gabriel in it. Well, he wrote it, and it's about that presence, that listening. It's called The Witness. The witness has many names: the higher self, wise self, Christ consciousness, Buddha nature, flow state, mindfulness. The witness feels the warmth of my smile and knows where it comes from. It receives my softness, my kindness, my gentle, loving nature, and rejoices. The witness knows my true north. It is my deepest friend and ally within. It observes things as they are, witnesses, taking it all in, allowing all of it to be with patience and grace. It is one of my many selves. The witness self has the ability to untether me from identifying with or getting lost in any one thought, action, or emotion. It says, yes, you feel this sadness, you want this car, you wonder why. But these are objects of the mind, not you, not necessary to be you, simply put, part of the dream. I feel when the witness is witnessing, my gaze turns within, my thoughts dissipate and my hearing sharpens. My orientation turns fully toward the present moment, inner presence and outer presence in harmony. I feel lighter, unburdened by worry or speculation, with room to enjoy all of it, to appreciate the big picture. I land safely in myself. I become whole again. And in this state, I come into myself, this witness self, and feel everything with greater clarity. The witness says, all of you is welcome here. You are safe. You belong. You are eternal. You are growing. Every part of you is divine, and you are part of everything. Those are the words, some words that Gabriel shared, and I also have a recording of Gabriel speaking that I wonder if I could put up to the microphone. Would that work? Oh, okay. So Gabriel and I would get together quite regularly to play music. We were in a little music group together called the Harmoniums, which we would sing songs that were influenced by spiritual experiences and love, and Gabriel would often record, and I feel so lucky to have this, just like our songs, but then sometimes we would just start talking, and so we have conversations and all kinds of these audio recordings. And this is from a little bit of a conversation after during a music night, and so you can play it whenever it's ready.
Healing the hearts and raising the vibration, because guess what? We aren't here to do it alone.
Tom? Yeah, I got it. Volume.
We're not here to not be seen, and we're here to be witnessed, and we're here to call them in, and we're here to say, hello, I want you to be capable of witnessing me. I think that would be awesome for both of us. And so I'm not going to wait around for the perfect and right, fully witness trained expert of witnessing to show up and probably pay top dollar. Rather, I'm going to turn all y'all into I'm going to witness all of you growing and transforming. I'm going to see your hearts. I'm going to speak directly to your heart, because I know that your heart already knows how to witness, even if your mind hasn't quite caught up yet. Yeah, because everyone's got a beautiful heart. Everyone's got something really sweet and kind and cozy and soft and safe and delightful at the core of their being. I just don't know it. All of it.
I've listened to that so many times because I just feel like that's, to me, like the essence of Gabriel. You know, he just knows that everybody has something sweet and kind and cozy at the center of their heart. Even if they don't know it yet, he knows it. And I feel like since Gabriel's transition, I have him in my heart, like a constant witness, a constant friend. And I know that that would be like his greatest hope. Each and every one of us here has a piece of Gabriel with us, and so I hope we can all know that we're walking away with something sweet and kind and cozy. Thank you, Gabriel. I love you.
It'll be Gabe and Ashley's birthday in a few days, so happy birthday, Gabriel, and happy birthday, Ashley. And the next day will be Uncle Matt's birthday. And I'd love if Uncle Matt would come up and play a song. He made a little rendition of one of Gabriel's songs, which you'll find on the album. Again, I just want to say we're going to have copies of the CD, but if anybody doesn't get a copy or doesn't have a CD player, it's going to be online. I haven't written down the link. I need to do that. But I'll just say right now, pretty easy, GabrielHenriques.bandcamp.com. The whole album will be on there. It starts with a song with him and Ashley, where Ashley gave him a word to just riff. She said rebirth. And she started playing the harmonium, and he started just making up a song. But yeah, it's a 26-song album, but honestly, I think it's worth a whole listen. Some really great songs in there. So one of the songs is called Belly of the Whale, and Matt made a rendition of that on the piano. So, Uncle Matt. I'd like to ask Cody to come up if you're ready. Okay.
One of the things that I will miss the most about Gabriel is his generosity of spirit, his openness, his willingness to take on anyone as his friend so quickly and so lovingly. One of the things that brought us together was his ability to speak very candidly and authentically about his shadow, about his struggles, his past, the things that were difficult for him, and to sit really honestly and compassionately as a listener when I shared those things about myself back. But in addition to that, he was incredibly funny, and he was such a fun friend and someone to adventure with and play with. I think probably in the last years of his life, we spent hundreds of hours at the Everett house soaking and talking about what was going right or what was going wrong. And I remember two things about those adventures so clearly. We were always laughing, even when things were difficult. And he was always singing. There were moments when we would get kicked out of the Everett house because we would go during what was called whisper and silent hours for folks who've never been there. And of course, we're incapable of whispering or being silent. And in fact, I remember a time when we were in the locker room and everyone was silent, and we were singing harmonies in the shower, and eventually someone came down and was like, "We love your voices, but you need to shut up." Another passion that we shared as friends was we would often spend a lot of time at a hot yoga studio called Moto, and similarly we'd arrive there. Gabriel would text me any day of the week and say, "Are you going to yoga? Are you going to yoga? I want to join you." It didn't matter what he was doing. And if I was going, he'd jump in my car and we'd go together. And I remember a number of times us getting into the space a little bit early and just having so much fun, making each other laugh and sort of ad-libbing and going back and forth with each other, that we would get shushed in the yoga class and that would make us laugh even harder. It's been disorienting since he's transitioned, and it's also reminded me so much about the enormous impact he had while he was living. And I'm so grateful to be here today with all of you to celebrate that and also to grieve in community. So thank you, and I just know that he held so much love and compassion and joy for everyone here.
Safana, I'd love to invite you up. She is gonna do a rendition of one of Gabriel's songs called Crow Medicine, or Like the Crow. We have lyrics printed for the chorus. That's just all we're gonna do today is the chorus. Yeah, Safana.
Hi, my name is Safana, and just to share a little bit of how I know Gabriel. In 2019 is when I met him, and I was at Muse Ecstatic Dance, and I was like on the side stretching, and I had my eyes closed. And then when I opened my eyes, I immediately saw Gabriel, almost like he was glowing, had like a shining light kind of emanating from him, and he was dancing just so incredibly beautifully, and I just felt so mesmerized by his beauty of his dance that I had to go introduce myself and tell him what a beautiful dancer he was. And that began the beginning of a very brief time of us dating for a couple months in the summer of 2019. We hung out together. We camped. We did some rituals. We danced static dances. We went to the country fair. And he got to get to know me and my son, Isa, who I guess was probably about 12 or 13 at the time. And he also let me borrow his drum, which he never asked for back. And eventually I said, do you want your drum back? And he said, I think you should keep it. And I ended up painting the snakes and the moons on the drum and wrapping it. So this is Gabriel's drum that I have here with me. And yeah, he was just always making me laugh, like sometimes so hard that I was like, when I was, when you're just dating someone, you're kind of considering them as a partner. And I was like, I don't know, like maybe he makes me laugh too hard. So I thought that was really, really sweet. And we were both musicians and dancers and connected in that way. And also, he was at the end of massage school at that time. And I'm a massage therapist as well. And we traded massages as well. And so after that, we kind of ended up going about our lives and parting ways in a way. We stayed connected and would see each other occasionally at events and say hi and check in with each other. But mostly we were kind of off on our own journeys at that point. And then last August 10th, the day before my son turned 16, he passed away suddenly from fentanyl poisoning. And in the spring of this year, I ended up bumping into Gabriel at dance again. And I had only announced it on social media. And so he hadn't really been on there a whole awful lot. And so he didn't know. And I told him. And when I told him about my son's passing, he was really saddened to hear about it and offered to give me a massage, cranial sacral healing session. Not the same one that was shared earlier about another person who lost their son, because I never actually ended up getting that massage from him. But we ended up connecting actually 3 days before he passed. I was trying to kind of get that massage from him, and he messaged me and asked me how I was doing. And at that time, it was only 3 days from the anniversary of my son's passing, and I was a mess. So, as I told him as much. I said, I'm a sad sack of potatoes, and he didn't respond back, and I didn't respond back, and it just kind of, I found out, a month later about his passing. And I know a lot of the grief process, everyone asked themselves the question, like, what could I have done differently? And, we all go through that. That's part of our process. And, I think while we don't want to take full responsibility or, beat ourselves up for the things coulda, woulda, shoulda, I think that we can, from those reflections, inform ourselves of like how to do things maybe differently as we move forward. And one of the things I reflected on was that he had asked me how I was, but I didn't ask how he was doing because I was so consumed with my own grief. And I made myself the promise that no matter how much I'm in my own process of grief, that I'll always check in as well and ask how someone else is doing. It's not, just about any one of us. We're all carrying these silent things that oftentimes we never know about. And so afterwards, finding out, I ended up scouring social media, all of his posts, and just like remembering him and what a beautiful and sweet and kind soul and special soul that he was. And not just like checking in and asking people how they are, but also not hesitating at any point to let somebody know how beautiful and how special that they are, because we don't know how much they might need to hear that in that moment. And I have had people tell me before that sometimes a conversation with me helped them in a moment where they were considering leaving this world. And so just sharing that. And this song
the last song that he left on his Instagram was this crow song, and it just has been on repeat in my head. And I know he was really into creating medicine songs, and to me it's felt like such deep medicine, not only for my own journey with my own son, but also for Gabriel, and really like anyone who has crossed over from this world to the next. For those that are left behind, it's like he left us this beautiful, sweet, potent medicine that saying, the words are, wherever I go, I take you with me in my soul. Now I'm like the crow, wherever I go, I'm right at home. And so that's just the chorus, and I am inviting us to sing it together, and I'll use his drum. And yeah, Gabriel, I've felt like I've seen you standing next to and smiling everybody that's been up here, and I hope that this makes you smile where you're at. And hearing all of us sing it together, and I will continue to carry this song forward. The crow, of course, being a symbol of death as well. Oh. Is that working? Wherever I go, I take you with me in my soul. Now I'm like the crow, wherever I go, I'm right at home. Wherever I go, I take you with me in my soul. Now I'm like the crow, wherever I go, I'm right at home. Wherever I go, I take you with me in my soul. Now I'm like the crow, wherever I go, I'm right at home. Wherever I go, sing it with me, take you with me in my soul. Now I'm like the crow, wherever I go, I'm right at home. Wherever I go, I take you with me in my soul. Now I'm like the crow, wherever I go, I'm right at home. Wherever I go, I take you with me in my soul. Now I'm like the crow, wherever I go, right at home. Wherever I go, I take you with me in my soul. Now I'm like the crow, wherever I go, I'm right at home. Thank you. And giving just my deepest regards to everyone that is feeling that grief during this time, and especially to Gabriel's parents. I know losing a child is so hard. So much love.
Thank you, Safana. Like I said before, Gabriel and I had a music project that we called Gabriel and Raphael, and we made some songs that we were really proud of. One of them was the one I played earlier. I'm gonna play a couple more, and it'll be like the show we never had, but we are gonna have, because he's right here. I'm gonna sing my part, and he's gonna sing his part. Check, check, check. I wanna tell you a secret. Please don't break my heart. I wanna tell you a secret. Please don't break my heart.
I blew it. Okay, we got this. Run it back, run it back. Pew, pew, pew.
Check, check, check. I wanna tell you a secret. Please don't break my heart. I wanna tell you a secret. Please don't break my heart. You know that I'm a sensitive man. These feelings could tear me apart. I know your friends don't hold me in the highest regard, but maybe that's okay with me. They'll never take you away from me. Baby, I'm tossing and I can't sleep at night. I wanna hold you close to me, is that alright? Baby, I will set free all of your dreams. I'm ready to. I will set free all of your dreams. I'm ready to with me. I wonder if you'll understand. Will you see things my way? I'm asking you to take a chance. You'll see that this love isn't fake. Will you walk with me? Will you walk with me? Tossing and I can't sleep at night. I wanna hold you close to me, is that alright? Baby, I will set free all of your dreams. I'm ready to. I will set free all of your dreams. I'm ready to.
Okay.
This one's called Dance Paradise.
paradise. Put your drink down, girl, let's dance all night. It's a dance paradise. Show you what to do, we'll let our love take flight.
We're in the VIP. I know that you like me. I've got my eyes on you. You've got your dancing shoes. You take me by the hand. I fall in love with you. I promised I would not, but you stole my heart.
Dance paradise. Put your drink down, girl, let's dance all night. It's a dance paradise. Show you what to do, we'll let our love take flight.
Drive me crazy, girl, you amaze me. I think I'm falling in love with you. It's not the tequila in my margarita. I really think this feeling's true.
I gotta come up with some dance moves. It's an original. What's happening now?
Dance. 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 Dance paradise. Put your drink down, girl, let's dance all night. It's a dance paradise. Show you what to do, we'll let our love take flight.
Listen. This girl's brought me out of my mind. She's a damn right, gotta dance all night, she wanna know. I'm not like the other guys, off the beaten path, it's a bumpy ride, so let's go. The beat don't stop, but neither do I. The people watch, we're freezing time. Take a chance, roll a paradise. I'll take your hand, dance paradise.
Dance paradise. Put your drink down, girl, let's dance all night. It's a dance paradise. Show you what to do, we'll let our love take flight. Dance paradise, it's an all-night fiesta. Drink down, girl, let's dance all night. It's a dance paradise. I want to dance forever. Show you what to do, we'll let our love take flight.
Thank you guys. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, I'd like to open the floor to anyone else who wants to speak. I guess at this point we should try to keep it a little bit, maybe under 5 minutes. Well, we'll see. We'll see how many people want to speak. I think we have like some more time. We have a little more music as well. But if there's anybody that feels called to speak, by all means. If not, we'll do some more music. We have a little bit more of that. And we can also, get refreshments and all that. We'll have time for that as well, and just to talk. I really appreciate you all being here. Okay. Maybe this is a good time to do a couple more musical things here.
All right. So many people helped hold us and put things together for today's event. I want to thank specifically Bill. Sorry, I don't actually want to do it in order or anything. I want to comment on Patty for helping with putting together putting the freaking whole altar. Conrad for, obviously helping out the people that weren't able to be here in person today, and um, so many others for helping with this morning and for the last, since this happened, so many people, and so many, just thank you for showing, and this wouldn't have happened without you, so thank you, and that's all.
Okay, I'm gonna try something here. This is Gabriel's guitar. Been trying to get better at it a little bit. It's just something that I've been trying to teach myself how to play. I'm gonna mess it up, but I got a little confirmation that it's the song to play after looking at your Instagram, Safana. I think this will have some meaning for you as well. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the night of a dark black night. Yeah, I can do it. Okay. Thank you. I just got one more. And then my Uncle Tom also has one. And then we'll wrap this up. Thank you all again. All right. turning point for stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test, don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your So take the photographs and still frames in your mind. Hang it on the shelf in good health and good time. Tattoo some memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. Hope you had the time of your life. Thank you. Uncle Tom, whose birthday was yesterday.
Gabriel, who I loved very much. I've known him and all the kids since they were babies. I'm very glad to be here. I appreciate everybody here, and I feel so much love. What I've seen, what I've written, I've read, in all the posts from all of his community at Peabody, and the music that he sang, so amazing. He was always an inspiration to me, even though he was much younger than me, because he was so gifted. And I'm going to play this song. This is the song I felt was the most appropriate to sing. Please bear with me. I'm going to try to do my best here. Fare you well, my honey. Fare you well, my only true one. All the birds were singing. I've flown, except for you alone. Gonna leave this broken down palace in my hands, on my knees. I build
make myself a bed by the waterside. My time and my time will roll in a bed by the waterside. I will raise my head, listen to the river sing sweet a song to rock my soul. River gonna take me, sing me sweet and sleepy, sing me sweetly sleepy all the way back home. It's a far gone lullaby many years ago. Mama, mama, every word I've seen since I first left home. Going home, going home by the waterside. I will rest my bones, listen to the river sing sweet song to rock my soul. Gonna plant me weeping willow on the banks of the green edge where the road rolls. Sing a lullaby by the waterside. Lovers come and go, the river rolls. Fare you well, fare you well. I love you more than words can tell. Listen to the river sing sweet a song to rock my soul. Listen to the river sing sweet song to rock my soul. Listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock my soul.
Before we wrap it up, we just have one more speaker, Ryan, our dear friend, since we were very small. Ryan, come on up.
I hadn't planned to say anything, but I think, Ashley, you were saying Gabe departed us on August 16th. And I realized something. It was hard for me to come out here for the emotional reasons. And I should just say, Gabe was my best friend when I was a kid. And this family was very, very important for me in every possible way. And also I have an 8-month-old, so that made coming out here difficult, but that's everything's difficult in the most beautiful way. I realized in the days, I guess, leading up, I'd had this quite obsessive impulse to write down every thought I could think of about listening as a practice, spiritual practice, musical practice. And I even ended up recording a little video at home, I think on the 16th. I think kind of with the intention that I would share it with my students. But I was, listening to it and put down all these thoughts, I just looked at the notes, and the last time they were edited was August 16th. And I just realized I'm not much of a sort of mystical thinker, but I can't help but feel like this sudden impulse, which was kind of accompanied by very shadowy thoughts. It was a very strange week. It was like, where did this come from? And the timing is just too odd. And I remember one thought, and it's just been going through my head constantly as I've been hearing people talk here today, that there is no higher sacred obligation than to listen. And I remember the last time I saw Gabe really in person was 2018. And we exchanged some messages since then. And I remember him, it was a very intense, beautiful but intense meeting. It was very sort of like, he asked me very penetrative questions about what I was doing and how I was doing and what I was thinking and feeling. And we did a sort of like, I can only call it a staring contest meditation, which I thought was awesome. We like stared at each other for 20 minutes. And he told me he'd just been diagnosed with, bipolar disorder, I think I remember him saying. And at the time, I remember thinking like, he's, Gabe's working through some stuff, and I really look forward to reconnecting with him, but he has some stuff he has to work through. And I'm just realizing in retrospect, he was, I think thinking about him, one of my most important teachers in my life, where I would go inward, he would go outward. If we had the same question or concern in life, he would grab it and embrace it and investigate it, and I would usually withdraw from it or go contemplate it on my own. I don't know where this is going because I hadn't planned it, but just to say, if I'm taking anything away from today, to listen is the greatest sacred obligation that we have in life, and I get the sense that that was something Gabe passed to everybody who knew him, whether you knew him this summer or this year or 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Anyway, this is very beautiful, and I want to thank all of you for sharing your beautiful memories, because I'm listening to a lot more of my own now.
Thank you all again. We have a little bit of time to just have some refreshments and talk amongst ourselves. There's going to be a book. There's a book where people can write down any thoughts or stories they want to share that they would like to, if they would like to. It will be inside, upstairs. Whoa. Oh, I'm sorry. Vanetta wants to talk. Okay. Okay, we have one more speaker. We got Vanetta here.
Definitely was not planning to speak, but what everyone said, and Ryan speaking about August 16, I have to say I had to tell this brief story because it was on the 16th in the afternoon. Gabriel was the person who also changed my life. He inspired me to write and to sing, and he told me when I was in craniosacral session, he said, "Vanetta, your problem is that you're not singing." And I said, maybe one of my problems. And he said, "You should start singing." So I did. This past year, I started singing with a coach. We met online, we met in real life in Mexico, and continued to meet online with this coach, voice coach. And on the 16th, I had a scheduled lesson. The internet in Mexico was quivering, and we almost canceled the meeting. We canceled it, and he texted me and said, "Now the internet is better." And the prompt that he gave me was, I couldn't get into the space of connecting with my voice. And he said, Vanessa, what would you do? Imagine, what would you do to tell someone that needs help? And what would you do to help them? Imagine you in that situation. And something in me opened, and I began to sing, I don't know from where. Then he switched the prompt and said, what would you do if you now have to help yourself? And I shut down. And he said, well, that's something for you to think about. But I want to sing a sad song, but beautiful, which is Bulgarian song. Ubavasi moja goro mirišeš na mladost. Ubavasi moja goro mirišeš na mladost. Navučite dima samo skrapi žalost. Navučite dima samo skrapi žalost. Който веднъж те погледне, той вечно жалее. Който веднъж те погледне, той вечно жалее. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you all. We have about 35 minutes to talk and enjoy ourselves here. Well, an hour. We'll start packing up around 5, but people can still hang out. And again, there are albums. There are stickers of Gabriel's pastel art. There's a book where you can write down any stories. And thank you all so much for being here. And yeah, love you, Gabriel.
Hello? Hi, I'm the other Ashley. Please take stickers up there. You might have to cut some of them, but they're Gabriel's pastels, which are just incredible. He should have done animation or something. There's the CDs, and we'll write down the Bandcamp thing for you. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, we got them back. We came in.
Shine
Did we miss your speech? Did you give a long 20, 30 minutes oration? Something like that?